What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? And today was the day of earnings, the mother of all earnings days. And it did not disappoint with a little bit of craziness. But before we get started, remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Yes, GameStop and AMC made an appearance today. They, I think, pretty much drove what has been going on with this market the past couple of days. There's been some crazy sell-offs and some spikes right back up. Then we had the Fed meeting today. There was just a lot on the plate today. There's a lot of mixed emotions, a lot of feelings got hurt. People were crying in a corner, and things were just going astray. But being said, Apple had earnings. As far as I'm aware, they did actually good, but I think the foreseeable forecast wasn't looking so bright. And the same could be said for Facebook because they also crushed it. But again, there's still concern in the future. Tesla did miss profitability after a full year of profitability. But there is a lot in play. So a lot of stuff did kind of take away the built-in price for earnings, but it is after hours and stuff is starting to push up. Needless to say, Wall Street Bets has definitely made its mark on everybody. So let's go ahead and get right into the charts. Again, there was so much going on today. I don't even know if there's any, the climate change plan was something I haven't even been able to look at, to be honest. I don't even know if anything even came of that. There was just so much other news between the Fed and the GameStop and Wall Street Bets and the earnings. I mean, even if there was good news on climate change, I don't think it would have even really mattered. It was just a crazy day. As you can see, SPY has sold off. It slowly sold off all day, kind of just bounced around, rattled around, and starting to pop back up after hours. I don't know if this is the hedge managers. I mean, conspiracy theory, whatever you want to call it. Maybe that's where we're starting to sell off. There was no real news today, aside from the Fed. The Fed meeting normally kind of sells off and rattles like this throughout the day, which we saw. Then Powell got on a horn, and he was kind of like, yeah, everything is pretty good. And he's like, I'll know when to step in. I'll let you guys know. I think it's a little premature. The market digested that, and then we sold off. So there's a bunch of mixed messages in the bag. Again, I don't really know what's going on. I think the whole Wall Street Bets thing kind of had a lot to play in what's been going on in the market and why it's just been so volatile. The VIX in itself has been skyrocketing. I think just because people don't know what's going on with Wall Street Bets, you know, who is this subreddit that comes out of nowhere and then now is challenging Wall Street. Wall Street obviously didn't like that. So I think now, and you got celebrities and stuff backing Wall Street Bets, so I don't think that helps. So I think today was just a lot of mixed emotions, and that's what we saw. That's exactly what we saw play out in the market today. With that being said, there was a lot of big moves today. I was just managing today. I didn't, I think I did take a scalp today. I don't actually recall what I scalped today, but it was mostly just managing positions. I was cutting a lot of positions just because of the sell-off. I did one of my big plays, my SQ play, my shares play. I did tag out of that today. It did dive all the way down to 200, actually a little bit below 200. Tagged me out. I'm still in leaps in that. I'm not. There's no real like black swan that's going to sink this ship. To be honest, I think right now there's a lot of waves between Wall Street Bets and Wall Street itself. So I think that's what's causing this volatility at the moment. Again, SPY pushing up after hours. I wouldn't be surprised if we gap up and we go to all-time highs tomorrow, to be honest. Being said, Tesla didn't have a profitable quarter. Being said, I think they still looking to start rolling out some Cybertrucks. They're saying at the end of the year. Again, I didn't read the full report. I just kind of glanced over everything, just tried to see the headlines of what was going on. I know they weren't profitable this quarter, which, I mean, it's kind of hard for anybody at this point. A lot of people are out of work. So nonetheless, Tesla, again, it's still playing in the zone. It held the zone. It's still a fantastic company. It's still got great things going on this year. But being said, I will not pick this up tomorrow. I want it to come down, to be honest. I think tomorrow it's just all kind of, I mean, it did bounce in the zone, but if it does come down to the zone tomorrow, I'm not going to buy this in the zone, right? I want it to come down to at least give me this 743 mark. If it hits that mark, then I would be apt to get back into it. At this point, now that Tesla earnings is done, I do see it coming down, maybe even testing 7, maybe even 650. I think 650 might be a stretch unless we get some black swan stuff going on there. But I do see a lot of volatility to the downside on Tesla. It's not saying that it's just going to be picked right back up. It does have a cult following, so just be aware of that. I would not short Tesla unless you are very good with Tesla. I could tell you that, because I think right now there's just still a lot in the air. So just be careful with Tesla. Again, tomorrow, I'm just kind of, to be honest, my whole game plan for tomorrow, I'm really just waiting. I'm not in a hurry to get anything. Everything is still pretty high. We still got earnings coming up. I know we still got Caterpillar on Friday, which I think they might crush it. I thought a lot of people would crush it, and they did crush it. But again, the future is bleak. No one is really sure what is going to happen. So being said, we'll see. SQ, again, I tagged out on this. It's still in the leaps. I still really believe in this company. I think we got 4 more weeks, though. That's the problem. 4 more weeks till earnings. There's a lot of time in between. So as long as it holds this, if it does break above this wedge, I'll be looking to get in. So again, if it breaks like that 205 mark or something, I'll be looking to get back into shares in this. I am holding on those leaps. If it does break below this 200, I'll see what happens after that. I mean, the next support is probably way down here, to be honest. That's a pretty big drop, to be honest. That's down to 190 at that point. But leaps hold well. If you know anything about leaps, they do hold well. And the premium isn't burning off right away. So it does give you time to piggyback back off. That's what's nice about them. But we'll see. I'll play that by ear. Again, I'm liquidating. To understand my trading, I go off the feel of the market. I do my research. I kind of see how the market is going. I do use technicals. I do use fundamentals. That's why I'm more apt to go heavier on things like Tesla and Square and Airbnb, Apple, stuff like that, because I believe in those companies. I know they can bounce back with a vengeance. Being said, they have the track record. For the most part, SQ does not have the track record, but it's still a company I believe in. And then Tesla, Elon Musk, the story. And Facebook is also one of those ones. Although I do like the other companies over Facebook because they got just bigger moves in them. Being said, SQ, I still like this in leaps. We'll see what happens. Again, tomorrow we are just trying to feel out the market. No rush. Apple did great on the phone sales. If it does actually hit this 126 mark, I would probably actually consider getting back in. I really don't know if we're going to hit that tomorrow. Again, it's all on feel. A lot can happen. The market is starting to already push up. Facebook, if it does hit this 248 mark again, I'll be more than happy to take leaps out of here again. Probably load the boat on some leaps, on some Facebook leaps. Facebook always holds very well for the most part. So as long as you can grab it at a strong support. Airbnb jetted today. Completely missed this, just managing positions. Again, no rush. If I catch it, I catch it. If I don't, I don't. I'm not trying to rush any of this stuff. Time and patience are big keys to this, to staying profitable, to staying, to doing all these things, right? You definitely have to be patient, not chase, try to play all the same stuff. I try to play all the same stuff for the most part. Sometimes I take plays like this GIK, EV, it's tanking. The contracts are also holding really well. It is at a strong support here. I really don't want to see it break this 14 again, but it needs to break this wedge. Just waiting on some EV stuff to come out. Still in snow, still holding support. It might break here again. I could hold this again for a longer run here. Essentially, that's what I was doing, is trying to hold this position for a longer swing. It's still a decent company, right? There's still a lot of good things. The only reason I say I don't like this stock because it's erratic, because it's an IPO. But I mean, to be honest, as far as like the cloud space and everything, Snow is definitely a leader in that. So I'm okay to hold this for the time being. If there's a crash or whatever, I'll cut it beforehand. But again, just shares, I manage it through my position size. So that's where I manage a good majority of the risk there. Being said, I am I have a lot of powder right now, to be honest. So I'm sitting in a lot of cash. And again, I have those leaps in a couple of share positions, nothing big. Again, I'm just trying to feel it out. And I think that's the best approach to do it is you want to be profitable, just be patient. You don't need 10 trades a day. You're going to find that you lose more than you make, or you're breaking even and you're not going to get ahead. Ultimately, be patient, wait for the setup. Once you have the setup, then take the setup. What is your conviction? What is your conviction rating on that setup, right? If you have a strong conviction, then go at it. Manage your risk, right? You have to be aware of risk too. What is your intention before you go into the trade? Are you willing to hold it for a couple of months? If need be, right? That's the way I'm kind of approaching everything now at this point. Yet I still go after some of the fundamentals too, or not the fundamentals, but the technicals too, right? I try to catch it at strong supports. Again, just depending on the stock. A lot of the ones I've taken in the EV space have been more news-based. So it's kind of hard to determine when that will take off. So that's why I've been kind of sitting in those leaps, because I'm waiting for news to break. Once news breaks, I think those stocks will go flying. Again, it's hard to determine stuff like that. So I do have a massive variety of tools that I use for each trade. I don't use the same setup every single time. A majority of the times I do go for the strong supports and load. That's why I'm most profitable. But I do like to take some of the news ones, because you do get some great percentage gains out of that, to be honest. And if you are tapped into the news and the fundamentals, and find these things, you can get 1,000 gainers, right? You can get a couple hundred gainers pretty easily out of that. You just have to be aware, know where to look, what sources you have, and stuff like that. So being said, Etsy, I wanted to take this one, but it's coming down. I wanted it to come down a little bit more because I'd feel better now that it's actually kind of broken that. I don't think this is much of a support here. So if Etsy actually gets back down to 169, I'd be willing to get in leaps in this again. I do want this for earnings. It's the same as Square, so it's the end of February. ENPH, I didn't take this one, although this one is starting to look good. It's starting to come down to pretty strong support here at the 173 mark. But being said, the whole renewable resources right now, I thought there would have been some more news today. It's something I still have to look up after hours here and see what's going on, because there was hardly any moves. I mean, this stuff just moved with the market. The market was, again, very erratic today. So same with NEO. Any of these EV renewable sources are just kind of all energy stuff. I think they'll all have a big year. It's just trying to find the timing on that, right? So ultimately, it's best to just wait for a solid zone. That normally depicts your timing pretty well. I'll wait for it to base out. Sometimes it's pretty close to a zone. Just start accumulating shares or leaps, whatever you want to do at that point. It is ultimately the most profitable, I believe, way to trade. 18 for BLBD, still in this small position, holding that for the year. Essentially, right, because this position is small. NGA, my shares position is small. I got 2 leaps in this, just kind of holding them. I mean, they aren't gonna destroy me, right? These positions, these leaps, these shares positions, they're not going to destroy me. That's just one thing to keep in mind. I don't load the boat on those because my conviction rate on those aren't extremely high. I believe the news that are coming out for them are like, well, man, you know what? I should probably put something in here because when that news hits, these things could explode and I want a piece of it. So my conviction rating is probably like a medium on those guys. So being said, just be aware of that. So some of these positions, I should probably just announce that when I'm talking about these positions, because again, I use different tools for the different setups and what I'm doing, and understanding what I'm thinking when I go into that trade. I do like NNDM, but just waiting. I want it to come down further. Maybe even the $11 mark again, maybe that $10 mark. That was where I initially took my first position, was that $10 mark. So I might be looking around 10 again. I don't know if it will come down that far. Disney, still in this leap. I really like this because of Netflix, how they killed it. I think that's why it's still kind of holding here. Again, the premiums have been holding really well on this, and I think that's exactly the same thing. I think they actually report on the 14th, though. So that's actually coming up. If this does hold, we start to push back up, I may look to grab one more leap for this, just to try to capture that. It might be a little bit shorter term, again, depending on how the market feels. At this point, with everything that's going on, I want to kind of feel the market out, not rush into anything, because that's going to get you in trouble. Everything's just turning over right now. So just kind of let it play out, let it base a little bit. You don't have to be the first one on the bus. Just kind of let it play out. Visa, in bad shape. It's going to come way down, 180. Visa, I don't know. Spot actually has a really nice wedge. I did pop in and pop back out of this today, because it actually broke the wedge. It was retesting. It did pop up, but then it slammed back down. Again, I think I jumped too fast in those, like I did with Tesla last week, although Tesla would have made me some money if I would have stayed in it. But anyway, again, I wanted to be cash. I think some of these positions I am rushing into, I'm catching myself when I back out, but just trying to be transparent. It still does happen sometimes. If the setup is there, though, I try to take it. I try to get a scalp out of it. Well, it was more like I wanted to do a couple days swing with it, because I think spot is on the 14th. But being said, I just didn't like the way the market was feeling. BYND, it's wedging here nicely, although I don't really know how much higher this is going to go. It might actually broke and retested from underneath here. So we may actually start to see a sell-off again. I won't look at this unless it goes back down to 120 or it establishes a new base, starts basing out. You always know with BYND, always the same pattern, has these crazy run-ups and then it dies out. And it's one of the top shorted stocks. So when we see it around 120 again, we'll start looking at that one. Lemonade, nice little rip today. And back down to basing out. We'll see again. Dropbox, I'm mad about this one. I talked about this one the other day. And then it finally ripped. I was going to take a position yesterday. Then I was convinced that it wasn't the best stock to trade, so I decided to pass, and then I had this huge rip today. It's all good. I'm not worried about it. It is what it is. You can't catch them all, right? Could have went the other way too. So bingo, nothing. Nvidia. Let's see. Amazon, big sell-off with the markets. Yeah, so I think, and then, good old GameStop, it just keeps tearing up, and now it's playing this range. Just be careful with this, guys. I know that was a lot of big news today, is I think TD Ameritrade wouldn't actually let you, I think, buy calls or puts on GameStop or AMC. So if that's the case, I know a lot of people started calling out Nokia. This is one play I did take. This is a complete gamble, and I knew that. I went in with a little YOLO. I caught it right here. It was actually up quite a bit. and then it sold off after hours. I don't know if this spikes up. I'm okay if this goes to zero. Again, I completely went into it with that. It was a small bet. I do that from time to time just to spice up the life a little bit. But being said, yeah, definitely be careful because these things can crash at any point. This thing can go right back to zero. So if you're buying at like 196, and that thing comes crashing back down to whatever it was. What was it originally? I think it was originally like $1 or $2 or something like that. So yeah, just yeah, be careful. You may be making some incredible gains, but go through the experience. That's why I kind of took Nokia, is just to be in the experience, and that's pretty much it. Saying I was in it, and that's it. Although I don't think Nokia is going to be the next one. I've already seen some people trying to pump this up. Nokia has been the next one to try to pump, and it was pumping after they said they stopped out GameStop and AMC, but that's why we had this little pump here. The premium started building, but then it went nowhere. And it might spike up again tomorrow. We might have that again tomorrow. That might be what's in play tomorrow. I know that's all that people seem to care about at the moment. This is actually based in nicely, the CRNT. It's a 5G play. I am in this one with a leap. This is holding well. We'll see what happens again tomorrow. DraftKings playing range pretty good, but yeah. So that's it, guys. I think it's actually pretty short, to be honest. This video is a little short, but it's about normal. There's not always days to be trading, so you don't have to trade every day. Just be aware of that. It's the way I trade. I don't always trade every day. I used to be one of those people who thought you had to trade every day, but I've realized over my career that you do not have to trade every day. And the biggest gains to remain profitable is to find those things, add support, use one of your tools out of your tool belts, and make sure it's the right tool for the right job. Make sure you have where your conviction level is at, and then use the right tool for the right job and go with it, right? And just manage risk. So that's what I got for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, again, remember to hit the like button on the way out and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Till next time, guys, I'll see you later.